got an extra special treat. Corey is going to take us out the Falling Man petroglyph. He's a cowboy as far as I know, straight up redneck. At Arvada Springs, we have these really cool teepees. You can put 8 to 10 of your friends in there, real comfortable. There's a fire pit in the middle. You just sit up out here under the stars. We got this nice fire pit out here. And as you can see, each one of these teepees have petroglyphs on them. These petroglyphs are found out throughout southern Nevada. And Corey has made it his lifelong passion to study the meanings of these petroglyphs. Some 20 years that I've known him. I don't think he has any Indian. He's a straight up cowboy, straight up redneck. Today we got an extra special treat. Corey's gonna take us out and tell us a story of Falling Man. This is a world famous petroglyph. People from all over the world come out to see this petroglyph here in southern Nevada. From his research, he's learned that these petroglyphs were put down some 200 to 300 years BC by the Basket 2 people. Quite a history. But there is more to the story. Most people just don't know where to find it. Join us on this grand tour of Falling Man, narrated by my good buddy, Corey Houston. Okay, so we're up here at little crest in the mountain that you got to go around to get to Falling Man. And here we go. So we're gonna crawl through this hole and out the other side.
Represents an object or a place, and then that lower arm represents the flexing or doing, and then the upper arm signifies a great distance, and then the 2 legs show not only that's falling, but it says go around for the rest of the story.
Oh wow, great.
Water, and then this guy's like barring, like he's not stepping aside. He's like, screw you guys. And then normally a point, like a point with a line between another point is like a line of communication. And then this is like a person, represents a person, this section. And so there's like a line of communication between a person and some other people, like they're mediating, but then they still wouldn't step aside. And then it goes down through here, like for example, here's like you see somebody that's like, you know, like they're in trouble, and then they're attached to a person that's upside down, which is death. And so it's saying that there were a lot of people that were in trouble and dying. And then it comes over where they have this person here confined in a cage, but with no head, saying that even though they confined the person, they still continued to talk and yell. And so this is the goat going up, and this symbol in between the horn and the goat is for like a mountain. And then if you notice, this horn is much larger, so it's encumbered. So the people, this represents the people, and they're encumbered by carrying this guy to the top of a mountain. And then I don't remember most of this, but then this is the first telling, and then the second telling is over there, which tells more of the story. There was this guy named Levan Martin, and he grew up living next to an Indian reservation, and when he was about 12 years old, he became an orphan. And at his parents' funeral, this old Indian dude came up to him and he said, hey, you don't have any family, I don't have any family, how about you come and live with me and be my son, and I'll raise you. And so Levan's like, yeah, what the hell, you got no other options. And so Levan went and lived with him, and Levan started to notice, because they were still using a lot of sign language, and all the Indian tribes had different spoken languages, but they all had a common sign language. And he noticed that a lot of the sign language symbols started matching up to these petroglyphs. And so the old man would take him to all these different tribes, and he started learning all the different sign languages and and learning what he could about what the petroglyphs meant. And he just kind of made it his life goal to understand the petroglyphs. And so when he was like 18, he got drafted into the Korean War. And when he was in the Korean War, they put him in a tent with 19 cryptanalysts, code breakers.
Oh.
And he told the code breakers about what he wanted to do. And so the code breakers taught him how to prove that something meant something. You know, this symbol means this, and this is how you prove that. And so when he got out, that's all he did for his whole life. He went all over the country, North America, South America. And he was able to prove that this particular symbol meant the same thing here in Nevada as it did in Arizona or Georgia or Canada or Mexico. And he wrote a book in 1973. He wrote a book called The Rocks Begin to Speak. And it's kind of like reading a dictionary. In there, he was able to take, like, have you heard about like the battle in the Canyon de Cheye and with the Navajos?
Mm-hmm.
And so the Navajos made a petroglyph about that battle, and he was able to show that the American version of that story and put it on that petroglyph and say, look, this is what this petroglyph means, and it follows the exact same story. And so he was able to prove that his symbols were exactly what they were saying. And there was a couple other ones. There was a train wreck up in Utah that they drew petroglyphs talking about the train wreck, and it matched the American story. So,
Oh, wow.
but then he wrote that in 73, and then he spent the next 40 years studying petroglyphs and making notes and all kinds of, and then he died with all that information. Got a hold of his daughter, and she said she has a storage unit clear full of his notes.
Wow.
And so he's trying to work some kind of a deal where we can get the notes.
Oh.
That's amazing.
Because, and it's like nothing is it's proven for. I mean, he proved it. A lot of people are, I don't know, but I mean, it makes sense. And then the thing with symbols is, you guys know what the Book of Mormon is?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Book of Mormon's like 540 pages. And around the 1920s, this Hebrew professor translated a portion of the Book of Mormon into Hebrew symbols. And he said that if he were to do the whole entire Book of Mormon, he could take those 540 pages and put them down to 42 pages using just symbols.
Oh, wow.
So each one of those symbols, just like the falling man itself, each part of that, you break it down as a different symbol.
Ah.
And so that one symbol can tell a big story. Like if, say for example, you're driving down the road and you see a triangle sign that has an arrow to the right. Well, I don't have to tell you what that is. You know. But what does it say? I mean, what does it say?
Caution, curve.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Slow down, curve.
Yeah.
You know, so that one sign can give you 5 or 10 sentences.
Yeah.
Same like with a stop sign. You know, stop here, or if you don't stop here, you're going to go through there and get killed. Whatever. You know. So
Right.
signs and symbols can say a lot of things with just one symbol. And that's what he was trying to say. And I'm trying to remember if I wrote that down. Yeah, what he said was when you're trying to understand the message, you try to first understand the various meanings of each symbol, and then find the thing that best allows all the different meanings to fit together in a consistent and meaningful manner. That's like with this one, there's several different stories, and you see stories written over the top of other stories. So there's newer ones, there's older ones. But the falling man part of the story starts right there on the left, and then bounces over a couple, and then comes down through, and then goes back up. But the other one over here, we're going to walk over there, and that's solely just talks about the falling man and why that the falling man is there. The story starts over here. And I don't remember every part of it, and I don't have all of it written down, but if you see like this, so we saw that was water over there, but what's the water doing?
Well, it's going up.
It's going up, so that would mean what? It's not natural, it's not good. So this is story talking about bad water, and this is like an object or a place. So this is a place where they have water stored, and then when it's just little dots like that, it means like it's moist or whatever. So they're saying they had to dump all the water out because it was bad. And so so this is this is like it represents a person. And when they're talking about a person, and then if you see here, this is like cupping, like scooping up water. So this conversation is about a person and water. And so this is the same. This would be like a line of communication. And where it's here, then there's a line of communication between an arbitrator. And if you look here, you see this guy, and he's barring, he's not stepping aside. And so he's fighting, he's like, F you guys, whatever. And if you notice, he's attached to this bad water. And if you also notice, what's coming here is poop. And so the falling man, basically, once you put it all together, is they had a guy that was crazy, and he crapped and peed in their water, and before they realized it, they had a bunch of people that got sick and died. And so they ended up taking him over and throwing him off the cliff because he's crazy. But this, like I said, I don't even have this part in my notes. But there's other parts, like this part over here tells of like his demise, or the finality of it. But the three up there, like all the dots like that can mean many. And so if you look at the three different people, they're like in three different stages of pain or death or dying, you know. They're like, and then if you see the goat on the right hand side, they used goats a lot. And then that's what this, let's see, this is a broad upward movement and a broad downward movement put together. And then these are holding, and so it's like they were in a never-ending state of holding pattern. Like they wanted to get from the river up to the ranch, and they came here, and they they're trying to get there. They have limited food, limited water. The only water they had was in those Tanakas over there that now are contaminated. And so it's like they were leaving. They got held up, leaving, they got held up, they were leaving, they got held up, and they're just like kind of in a constant state. And then this is showing like they're traveling back and forth to check on the people. And some part of that was talking like the V with the square on the left of it. So the square on the left is the same, it stands for an object or a place. And then that's a symbol for the canyon. And then on the right hand side is for the great distance. And then if you see the symbol underneath, it's like somebody falling with their clothes above their head. And so it's saying that's just saying again, they went to a place on the top of a big canyon and tossed them off. It was here when I was younger. Wow. It's not here anymore.
Yeah. Wow.
But see, like I have where their migration from the Uintas down to the Muddy and Virgin. And you can see a lot of it's missing.
Yeah.
Somebody chunked it off, and I remember parts of this story. But I remember this part. It's like, this is the Horseshoe Bend in the Grand Canyon. And so this is where the Colorado River and the Green River come together. And so this is saying that there's two great forces coming against each other to try and occupy the same space. So they're talking about that they came through where those two rivers came together. And it also shows here the crossing over. And then this is generally a timeline. Like, here's Hank.
Yeah, there it is.
There's a Mojave Rattler, look at that.
Keep patches away. Yeah, I
Yeah.
will.
It's in the bush right there.
He gave me a warning, and then he
Good.
rattles going. He's coming out the other side, I think.
He's coming out the other side.
He's going in the hole. He's coming out. Careful, Mike.
Oh, he's still there.
They can jump like 30 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
be careful,
right.
Mike.
No, he's going in the hole.
He's going down.